recommend the approval of the agenda as presented.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you, Mr. President. Under item 1, business action items, the consent agenda. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background material on each item or has discussed the item at a previous meeting. Consent agenda items will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. If a board member wants to discuss any item, it will be pulled from the consent agenda and voted on separately. Tonight, the consent agenda consists of the following: minutes of the December 17, 2018 regular meeting, bills and accounts for December, the December financial report, and those bank statements have been reconciled, and the annual Muscle Shoals Middle School Washington, D.C. field trip. Those dates are October the 19th through the 25th, 2019. Does any board member wish to pull any item from the consent agenda tonight? Hearing none, Mr. President, I recommend the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda items as presented?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Consent agenda items is passed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under item B, I recommend the personnel report as presented.
Do I have a motion to accept the personnel report as presented?
I move that we accept the personnel report.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Okay. Personnel report is passed, Dr. Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. For the benefit of the audience, the personnel report consists of the following. Under item 1, leave of absence, Sarah Law, Muscle Shoals Middle School teacher, April the 12th through September the 12th of the next school year, and that is flexible with medical needs. Under item 2, other contract employment and/or supplemental assignments, additional part-time temporary community education student aid from January 23rd until May the 21st is Ansley Watson. Additional support staffing for the 2018-2019 Muscle Shoals High School basketball games. These are to be paid from basketball funds at previously approved rates. That's Sherry Arthur and Holly Gaston. Item 3, $75 stipend for completing an additional professional development strand for the following teachers: Stacy Ade, Tamara Counts, Jordan Frederick, and Holly Moody. Item 4, volunteer coaches for the 2019 spring season: Adam Polk, varsity baseball assistant; Carly Malone, Muscle Shoals Middle School softball assistant; Ty Cosby, Muscle Shoals Middle School baseball assistant; and Sandra Kirk, Muscle Shoals Middle School tennis assistant. For information only provided for the board, at the bottom of the personnel report, Zach Mize will be a sub for a paraprofessional leave at Muscle Shoals Middle School through Kelly Services. That will be through April the 26th, 2019. That is the personnel report for tonight. Moving on to item C, I have recommended approval of the changes to amend board policy number 7.12, school wellness. This recommendation was tabled at the previous board meeting. Information has been disseminated to community groups and no feedback has been received.
All right, do I have a motion to remove the recommendation for the amended board policy number 7.12, school wellness, from the table?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Call for a vote on the approval of the amendment to board policy number 7.12. Those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. President. I recommend the revision of board policy 6.24, bullying, harassment, violence, threats of violence, and intimidation prohibited.
Do I have a motion to approve the recommended revision to board policy 6.24, bullying, harassment, violence, threats of violence, and intimidation prohibited?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? This policy action should be tabled until the next regular board meeting to allow for dissemination to organizational groups for review. Do I have a motion to table this recommended revision to the board policy prohibited?
I'll make a motion to do that.
I second.
All in favor?
I'm in favor.
Okay.
You got, just a little bit.
You don't get- you don't-
We'll go right there.
For this table.
That one to the table.
Thank you, Mr. President. Superintendent's report tonight. Several things I'd like to report on. Our wind ensemble at Muscle Shoals High School performed at the Alabama Music Educators Conference at the BJCC in Birmingham. And Dr. Holder, Dr. Woods, and I were able to attend that, and they did an awesome job. Fantastic. They did great. So very proud of them. Like to report that our varsity boys basketball, varsity girls basketball, and junior varsity boys basketball all won the Cobb County tournament. So all three of those Cobb County champions this year. Also like to remind you, as you know, we're playing Florence tonight as we speak. At Florence, the girls are playing it now, and the varsity boys will follow. We have very important area games Friday night away at Columbia. So we'll be in Huntsville Friday night for important games with area tournament implications there. Like to recognize Danielle Hillman. She's one of our CTE marketing instructors. She has been selected as one of 50 K-12 teachers nationwide for the MBA Research and Curriculum Center, working in conjunction with the Project Management Institute Educational Foundation. She will participate in a project management classroom initiative. And it goes on to say that these candidates have demonstrated strong leadership skills and experience in presenting to adult learners. She will be going to be trained for the one of 50 K-12 teachers nationwide. So that's pretty stacked. So again, very, very proud of her on that honor as well. Again, as Dr. Holden pointed out, Muscle Shoals High School becoming a common sense EDS certified high school. We're very proud of that. We did hold our academic assembly Friday at Muscle Shoals High School, where we had, and of course, I've told you this in your weekly updates. We did have 2 students that have scored a perfect score on the ACT. We had 4 national merit finalists, 2 that also received commendation that we're very proud of. We also announced the Student of the Year there Friday, and that is Clay Tyler, senior there at the high school. He is the Muscle Shoals High School Student of the Year. He will move on to compete against the other 17 schools in the district through the Scholar Dog program. So very proud of Clay for that. And of course, as most of you know by now, Dr. Chad Holden is the Alabama High School Principal of the Year. That is sponsored by class. So very proud of him for that honor as well. Mr. President, that's all I have tonight.
Okay, with that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.